Okay, so part 4 did not continue to upload, so only half of it did, and I'm still hiding from my boss. So, I think where it cut off was somewhere around dipping into information. I think it's really important to put on the full armor, is what I was saying. But also like seeking wisdom and spiritual strength and power and things like that. Which, I mean, I'll just say for me, the Bible gives me that. But I wanted to I wanted to point out one thing about Matthew 16, and there it is. Boom! I turned right to it. How weird is that? Must have been important. Okay, let's see. What do I got here? So Matthew 16:6 says this right here. Moreover, when you fast, do not be like the hypocrites with a sad conscience, for they disfigure their faces that they may appear to men to be fasting. Assuredly, I say to you, they have their reward. But you, when you fast, anoint your head and wash your face, so you do not appear to men to be fasting, but to your Father who is in the secret place, okay, our hearts, and your Father who sees in secret will reward you openly. So we have open blessings, open rewards, and things like that. And then, and see, I can imagine if you were, okay, let's say God's enemy, everything that God pours out, God being all good, everything that He pours out, I can imagine the enemy wanting to take away. And Matthew 6 was specifically talking about fasting, which I literally just learned about a couple of years ago. I've been walking with the Lord for 12 years, and I literally just learned about fasting. Like, even some of my more seasoned friends and church family and stuff, we didn't realize that we were supposed to be doing that today. We're just late bloomers. We didn't know. So you live and you learn. So, you know, these aliens, they can bind people. They can take form. Oh, where was that at? Okay, yes. So they are capable of attacking. They are capable of taking form, shape, and visibility. So they can be, they can come in all different ways. And I think I talked about then they can inhabit animals. I don't know if that actually if that part got uploaded in one of the videos or not. So, yeah, it talks about all of it and the consumption of it. Whereas, you know, one side offers the consumption of love, grace, forgiveness, peace, prosperity, and we're not talking about earthly things. We're definitely talking about spiritual things. But then the other, it can offer those same things just under a different disguise. I did want to go back. There was something I really, I gotta say this, guys. I gotta get to this because I feel like it's really, really important. It's a social issue that we deal with in our society today, and somehow they knew even back in these days that we'd be dealing with this now, and they also knew that we would be dealing with this, you know, in all of humanity. So let's see, it's 18. So Deuteronomy 18, it's in the Old Testament, and it's verses 10 and 11, so I'm going to go down here. There shall not be found among you anyone who makes his son or his daughter pass through the fire, or one of you who practices witchcraft, or a soothsayer, or one who interprets omens, or a sorcerer, or one who conjules spells or mediums, or a spiritist, or one who calls upon the dead. For all who do these things are an abomination to the Lord, and because of these abominations the Lord your God drives them out from before you. You shall be blameless before the Lord your God. For these nations you will dispossess. Listened to soothsayers and diviners, but as for you, the Lord your God has not appointed such for you. It's just amazing the wording in that, right? About our nations and all this kind of stuff. Now let's break this down. When you're talking about the things of our children, don't allow our children to be passed through the fire. We're definitely talking about abortion here. we're definitely talking about abortion. We're definitely talking about the sodomization of these children and the witchcraft that they have, and the demonic practices that they do, that they practice. They actually do these things. Child sacrifice, all of these things. And so Deuteronomy 18 verses 10 and 11 is talking about abortion, child sacrificing, spirit cooking, sorcery, magic, spells, mediums, anyone who calls on the dead. It calls on all of these things. And then it goes on to explain the spirit world. Okay. And again, the spirit world, everything that we see is temporary. Okay. And everything unseen is eternal. Okay. We will have an eternal resting place, which where are we wanting to be? Exactly. So, wow, I had to tie that in. So, how do we fight demonic forces? Well, I'm just gonna go. The warning of that is Ephesians 6:12, is that we do not wrestle with flesh and blood, but against all forces of darkness and heavenly realms and all this kind of stuff. And we got to remember those spirits. I think that way we can recognize it in ourselves, so we can always correct ourselves and things. That way we're not inviting anything through these wormholes. The wormhole thing really got me all kinds of. It's really given me a lot of knowledge about a lot of things. I hope it's given y'all a lot of knowledge too, that there's so many ways that evil can penetrate, and we really have no escape. It's not going to be here on earth, that's for sure, but we can do our best here on earth, and we can close some of these wormholes where it's not as thick. So I'm going to go ahead and go over those spirits again. Number one is the lying spirit. It causes us to lie and eventually leads to the lake of fire. Number two is the distressing spirit, causing us to distress without reason and with reason sometimes, but we're not supposed to do that. The unclean spirit, the spirit of infirmity. The deaf and mute spirit's probably one of the most important. The familiar spirit, the seductive spirit, the family spirit, which is equally important, and the death spirit. If I don't remember if I used Buddha, if Buddha was an example in one of these videos or not. The two that I uploaded originally were pretty long and they did not upload, so I had to kind of redo them. But Buddha left his wife and children to seek spiritual enlightenment. Okay, well the Godhead, the Creator, who created family, is very valuable to the Godhead, to the superior, to the all-authoritative, to our higher power. Family is a big deal, and one way that evil comes in is always disrupting the family, which is what we see in a lot of these groups like Black Lives Matter, Antifa, and all this kind of stuff. We're looking at fatherless homes and things like that, but then again, we sometimes we have fathers in these homes and mothers alike, who provide children with horrible lives, absolutely horrible lives. But I think that's why it's so important for us when it talks about the armor of God. I didn't mention how important the shoes were, the boots, to be flat-footed and stand strong. That way we can stand and we can continue to stand, and we can continue to walk in faith and walk to what we feel to our best acknowledgement of righteousness, okay, which is what we already know. We're already gifted with all of those things. So I just thought that was really cool. I wanted to add that. But yeah, I think dipping off into any of this stuff is, we just got to be very careful what we allow ourselves to see and what we allow